Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Robert Gibson, and we are here live on a Zoom call for FYI. FYI is for your information. For your information, we are talking to authors about books, and our goal is to connect authors and readers together. Our goal is to get authors and readers uh, to become a community. We're speaking with Richard Ford. So we just want to say hi, Richard. How are you doing?
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes,
Robert,
sir.
I'm glad to be here. My
Good.
privilege.
All right, man. We are here talking about his book, 22 Virtues for You to Pursue. And so we can just get right into it. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Richard. How are you doing?
Okay, I'm okay. All right. My career is a firefighter,
Oh,
right?
okay.
But I have published my first book as of March 29, 2023. 22 Virtues for You to Pursue
Hmm.
by yours truly, Richard Ford. Yeah?
Okay.
Now, this book, before I get into the book, let me tell you some more about me.
Hmm.
I went, I went to, I know we have similar school systems in the Caribbean,
Hmm.
right? So I skipped twice in school. I in first year, that is right after preschool, first year, infant year one, right? I spent 1 week there, and then they put me into standard two, that is
Hmm.
infant year. Then I went to standard one normal, and I was kind of advanced, and I was keeping back others because of how I would have finished my work fast, and So they decided to give me a challenge, and they skipped me one more time, and I went to standard three, right? Standard four, standard five. I sat C exam, right?
Hmm. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, okay. But
I sat
so you are
just now,
just you
just
just
now before, just now, hold up. I sat that exam and I sat C exam. I passed for the first school in the country at 2 years prior to the age that I was supposed to be because I skipped twice, right? When I went to that school, I picked up my writing and they used to call me Shakespeare in school because of the poem that I used to write for social studies and that kind of thing. That is why I really insisted on giving you the history. Yeah. So
wow.
I love, but in standard five,
Hmm.
remember I've skipped from standard one to standard three. Standard five, my teacher, R.I.P. to her, Miss Vernice Simon, she taught us rhyme schemes, A, B, and that kind of thing. So since standard five, I got the knack for it from her. I
Hmm.
really, I really, really appreciate that from her. Rest in peace to her. And actually, she died when I was doing training fire service. When I told her I'm a firefighter.
Right, right, right.
So I was, life is sometimes. So
Wow.
I'm here and I'm willing to make her proud going forward. 22
Well,
virtues.
that is awesome. Well, the reason why it was stopping, I was the interruption was just to ask which, just for those who are listening, those of you who follow me long enough, they know that I live in Barbados, and so this is obviously a Caribbean and international reach. And so I was just going to stop you to ask you which country you come from for those who listening for the first time.
Okay, I come from the beautiful nation, the Twin Island state of Trinidad and Tobago, the
Yes,
Republic of
I.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So we
yes.
became a republic in the year 1976, and we became independent 1962. Yeah. So
Right,
this year
right,
we are going
right.
to be celebrating 62 years.
60, 62. That's
Yes.
awesome. Barbados is like 50, 54, I think, this year. I will go check. But we were independent in 66. Yeah, me, I'm English. Just like you, my
66.
love is English.
That will make it 58 this year.
Oh wow. Right, so 58 this year as a independent, and recently became a republic as of about 2 or 3 years ago. So yeah, yeah. So having and I like the bigging up your English teacher as well, because that's the same thing that happened to me where I got introduced to poetry at the age of 14 in third form in secondary school. And Mr. Clark, again, rest in peace, the same way, he introduced me to poetry, and I remember feeling like I wondered if I could do this, and I went home and I wrote my first poem. For those of you who've listened to me often enough would know it was called The Student's Lament. It was
For
a
what?
The Student's Lament.
The Students' Lament.
Yes, I was literally it was a humorous piece insulting everybody from the janitor all the way up to the headmistress.
Some creativity there. Okay.
I just was having fun with it, you know. I
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
literally just having fun with it. So I went to school and the next day and I showed it to Mr. Clark. And Mr. Clark made me read it to the entire class. I didn't expect that. I was just wanting him to tell me it was good or not good. He made me read it to the class. But when I read it to the class, everybody loved it. Everybody started laughing. And so
That's
that
that that's similar to my story, second form, doing social studies. I
uh
read my poem and Shakespeare from there going forward.
Yeah,
Shakespeare.
well, you see, no, had I known this, if you and I were talking, if you and I were having a conversation about getting this book published, knowing if you'd found passionate words and was looking to get the book published, I would have told you use Shakespeare instead of your or the Trini Shakespeare or something like that instead of your name. Not like there's anything wrong with the name, but
My sobriquet, I have a sobriquet which is Plasmathepoet.
oh, you already have one. Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Because I actually do music as well, so that is my
Oh, all right,
yeah.
we can get into that. We can get into that. 22 virtues for you to pursue. Is the book is from the looks of it and from reading the pieces that I've seen, it is a book of inspiration. It's an inspirational book. Is to inspire people to for positive vibes. What got you into writing that particular this particular book?
Okay. I want to write several types of poetry books,
Mm,
different series, right? So this one is the first of a two-book series, right?
mm,
A collection of short poems, right? This one is called 22 Virtues for You to Pursue. And within that, I just wanted to do some simple poems of, aspects of our life that we could address and
mm,
improve. And it could be
mm,
like a daily guide, something you
mm,
read in the morning, carry through the day. You know, the, the virtues are like peace, love, hope,
mm,
faith, honesty. I even
mm.
did two bonus ones. I put diet and exercise.
Oh wow,
You know,
okay.
it's very, very applicable.
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
unity, wisdom, motivation, all these are the virtues included in this awesome book. Yeah. So
Okay,
that is
okay.
what I decided for the first part. The second
Mm,
book now. No, the reason why I'm doing the second book like this is because I told myself I didn't I told myself that I didn't know what specific topic idea to come up with.
mm,
So I just told myself the first word I come up with, I'm gonna rhyme the topic with that.
mm,
So virtues, 22 virtues for you to pursue.
mm.
Right? Some alliteration there. Now, the other one in the same two-book series, I tried to rhyme the same way. Now I haven't written those poems yet, but I know
Right,
this year that is one of my second book called
right,
Spirit.
right.
Right?
Okay.
Name of that book is 33 elements relevant for excellence. Still rhyming. Right?
Okay, okay, okay. I like it. I like it. What has been the what has been the response so far with the books? How has the book come out? You and I will both know that, to be quite honest, poetry is a um, pretty hard selling genre. Like people are into romance, people are into different
Novels,
genres, and different novels and stuff like
horror,
that. You
fiction
know,
novels, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So how has it been your the you know putting out this book? I mean, you have to talk about plasma. So we got to talk about plasma and see how you as that spoken word poet, as that other poet, has that how that brought in this, what happened between how you got into the poetry with the pseudonym. But what I'm really asking for sure, starting off with, knowing how difficult it is on an online scale, is do you have a good following with these poems?
Okay, I do heavy marketing, right?
Hmm.
So I have the book, the page of this book is on Facebook.
Hmm.
22 Virtues for You to Pursue
Hmm.
by Richard Ford. That is a page on Facebook. I
Hmm.
also have my Richard Ford profile. I also advertise on WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok
Hmm.
daily,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Now, we have a culture where people don't read as much as before. That is a
Right,
fact.
right.
It's a global, right?
Hmm.
That is not isolated to the Caribbean or to Trinidad or to Barbados. That is a global, that's actually
Yes,
a pandemic.
yes, for sure. I agree.
So there will always be challenges in getting people interested in reading generally,
Hmm.
right? Let's just start there. However, my poetry book, TRAP, TRAP, Take Risks and Prosper. Sometimes we limit ourselves and we think we can't reach as far as the people whom we admire.
Hmm.
And just that belief and that hard work, that will make you go against all odds. So basically, the people in my circle, those okay, people who I may have went to class with, like a trade class back in the day. Well, I
Hmm.
did a lot of different things in my life. I may have went school with some people. I may have went to church with some people. I may have known some people from, these are people that I get two different reactions. One reaction is, wow, they're just amazed at the fact that I am a public author. And then we have the other half of they just want to jump onto something positive, so they would quickly support me just because,
Hmm.
right? I also have the books in bookstores in the both islands, Trinidad and Tobago, Sharon
Hmm.
Bookstore in Trinidad, Trinity Mall, and I have my book also in Tobago in Scarborough, Uptown Scarborough Educators Bookstore. I'm going to expand and have it in Nigel Arcan's bookstore in Trinidad, Nelson's bookstore in Tobago and other places, right? It
I
is
am
also,
impressed. I am
yeah,
impressed. The reason why I'm impressed is because here in Barbados, especially, I find that poetry books, because people know that poetry doesn't sell well. Poetry as a genre doesn't sell well. I realize that most bookstores do not actually take the poetry, don't actually stock the poems. So when I was writing my poems, when I was writing my books, and approached bookstores and asked, could you put the books in there? They refused. They said poetry doesn't sell well, and they'll be taking some of the bookstores actually, they actually uh bought the books from me versus being on consignment, right? For those of you who don't know, consignment is when we basically they rent the book, we give the book out to the bookstore for like 3 months, and if the book does not sell within those 3 months, it reverts back to us. They give us back the books. There's a contract signed, and once it's on consignment, whatever their cut is, any books that are sold, if they want 20% or whatever, you give them that and you keep the rest. So because some of them don't go on consignment, and if they buy the book outright from me, their thing is they'll be losing money if people don't buy it. Consignment sort of protects them, and they were able to give the book back to me, right? But the idea of so I'm really impressed basically to see that you have so many bookstores who are willing to put poetry on their shelves. You
yes,
know,
salute to all of them. Shout out to all of them. Sharon's bookstore, Educators Bookstore, they gave me a chance, and I really appreciate that.
well, I'm very grateful. I need to get
And
some of my
I
books.
have, I have faith in my product too. I have a really, really great product. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah. I mean,
I sell it
definitely
well.
listening to it and reading the pieces. The simple rhyme scheme, it will appeal to the rhyme scheme, the rhyme structure will appeal to people who are only now getting into poetry, or just they don't know what, and I feel it will give is like a, or what's the word I'm looking for, like almost a beginner's guide, so to speak. Because if you're like me, I've been a poet for such a long time. Personally, A B rhyme scheme just bore me, right? But for somebody as they come and getting into poetry now, and you know, is something that they're accustomed to, you know, listening to the nursery rhymes as a child, and it sort of something that they can get in on the bottom floor kind of thing. So I'm with it. I'm with it. And like I say, you know, because it is a inspirational, you know, you want it to be accessible to everybody. You don't want it to be so highfalutin and so thing that it passes over people's heads, you know.
One of my endeavors for the first 6 months of this year to make sure and get the school year opening.
Mm,
Now I'm going forward with faith. I need to get through with everything, so that's the energy I put forward into everything. It is what it is, life is what it is, but it's also partially to what we make it. So basically, I would like to go to the Ministry of Education. I've been there before. I got
mm,
the write my letter. Let them know I would like to have this book in, the syllabus in schools,
mm.
including in school. So that could, bring a different type of revenue. But
Right,
the aim is not really the revenue, but more to get this to as much households as possible. I really like this book to be a household book.
right. I appreciate it, bro. I believe it is. I believe, you know, I'm all for assisting and encouraging. You know, like that's part of the reason why I opened up for authors like yourself, because I'm hopefully looking for you to get a bigger platform through coming to the show. You know what I mean? Um, how was it? I'm assuming that this was self-published. So you went through this, you published it on your own, or you went through a company to help you publish it.
I have I have a friend who basically designed everything for me. So I was blessed with that concern. When the book was finished, we had a little mini celebration, and you know,
Yes,
she
yes.
got her reward, but at the end of the day, she did it totally on her own time, didn't ask for anything. She just wanted to
Mhm.
put this idea to the globe and to be a part of the experience. That's all she really wanted
I
from it.
understand. I understand. How did it feel? How did it feel to get that book in your hand for the first time? How did it feel to see it? You know, people they go through and they decide I'm gonna do this. But then to actually physically see that book in your hand, you know, it must have made you feel a sense of
Yeah,
pride.
I mean, from PDF, soft copy, the hard copy. I mean,
Uh,
is a awesome transition, right?
mm-hmm.
And it was a kind of surreal feeling. It's like, wow, I actually tick off something from my things to do list in my life. And at that point, I knew that I was able to inspire others because I had proof of what you could do with
Mm-hmm.
this effort and belief.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that, bro. Like I said, I am Passionate Words is a a company that is all the word passion is in there deliberately, because boy, I love to inspire to find the flames of inspiration and passion to get people you know, to see people's
I like that
dreams.
metaphor, fan the flames up. I like that metaphor.
Yeah, man. I mean, it is deep within. I myself am a poet myself, a spoken word artist as well, and like the word passion, that's actually my moniker, right? Passion poet is in my moniker. So anything to do with passion, anything that is related to me has passion in it, and so passionate words for me is literally. I am taking my passion for words and igniting that passion within you, seeing it within you and sparking, because I've seen so many people who have words, who have stories, who have ideas, and they need that outlet. So that's what we are here for, you know. So I'm really glad to see that you've gotten to that point and seeing a vision forward for inspiration and getting it into schools, you know what I mean? To see to the younger generation needs that push with all of the negativity going on the outside, everything happening on the outside that you got to protect the younger generation from. And we as the older people, we can't protect them from everything, but at least what we can do is give them
Arm them with
you know,
values.
I arm them with what? Virtues. Arm them with
Yeah,
virtues that they can pursue. Arm them with something that they can focus on. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, man. So how we talking about the inspiration for writing, but I want to get back to I want to slip back to something before you started. I did not. I mean, everybody has their profession, or everybody people do what they're inspired to do. But I ain't gonna lie to you, when you say firefighter, I jumped in. It's like, for real. It's like, how what got you into being a firefighter? How did that come about?
well, I did my subjects. I got my subjects. So it's like, okay, what can I do to fit into a groove to utilize these subjects? I did banking,
Mm-hmm.
I work credit unions, I work um working yard for people, I work cleaning pool,
Mm-hmm.
weeding out garden, I work movie town in the food court, I work KFC, I work in National Insurance Board, I work the cable company, I work the TV company for a while, I work B-Mobile, that is one of our phone providers, that is the sales main competitor here. All right, so I have clean work and dirty work experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I again, that even being a firefighter is something inspirational too. You know what I mean? You're protecting, but people look up to people um with that profession. You risk your life to save and to protect, and so for sure you are. I appreciate that.
well, you know what they say when people running out the building that direction, we running
In
into
the
the
op the opposite direction, for sure, for sure. All right, what I want you to do for me is choose. You got the book, so I am assuming you ready to read something. Give us a couple of the pieces. How long are they? The whole the
four stanzas mostly.
four stanzas each. Okay, very small. Choose one or two of your favorites. I hate when people talk about favorites because it's like, this is my poetry, this is my children. I can't choose.
Facts, facts.
But the
I'm
choose
22 favorite.
yeah, two or three favorites, and tell us a bit about them, and read them. Let me see what's going on.
Okay. Hope. What do we have when all is out of our control? Hope is what we lean toward, our greatest form of console. For when all is lost, what can we find? And hope that soothes every human mind. For something greater to happen, we all have that desire. Betterment in our lives we also deeply require. Better days are coming, holistic liberation. These are the thoughts we enjoy, coupled with a feeling of liberation. Are you the person that gives hope or the type that takes it away? That's why we got to be careful in all we do and say.
Yes, I actually that,
Be a
that
beacon,
mhm, mhm, mhm.
Be a beacon of light that shines and gives hope to people. For tampering with someone's confidence in some situations may be.
Mm. I I saw that was actually the poem, or at least part of that, because I didn't even see that last couplet. That's the reason why I stopped you, but or tried to. But the reason is because that was the poem that I looked at. That hope was the one that I was looking at. That you sent me a couple. That was the one that I read just before the show. So I was like, yeah, boy, you choose the right one. You choose the
Look at
right
that
one.
secret. Look at that secret, Mr. Gibson.
Hmm.
I I write poems really fast. Like whatever I do, music, poems, I write it really fast. Because
Hmm.
remember, since 5, I got this experience from Miss Simon, God bless her soul.
Hmm.
Right? So I write really quickly. I write, and the thing about it, I'm kind of sure of what I want to do, so I barely, or what I want to say, so I'm convey, so I barely scratch off. If I show you my original book, you will think that is what I wrote from the scraps, but that is just how I function, right? So I just write down the line, start to finish, right? Sometimes 8 minutes gone, that kind of thing. I go like that. Now, based on thoughts and certain things I want to include, I will give it more thought and may take more time. But basically, I only recently started to try to recite these poems because I wrote so many poems in my life and I can't recite one because it's so rapidly written. So like on to the next, on to the next. So I don't have time to recite it. But I'm telling myself that I need to have at least 3 in my head, right? The platforms will get bigger as time goes along. So that is why I made that attempt to recite it there.
Yeah.
I could have read it, but yeah.
Well, nothing wrong with that, man, because honestly, I as a spoken word artist, I've had to learn. Honestly, I have not written in a little while, to be honest. I've been focusing so much on my business that I've not really done much writing. But I have in my heyday when I was performing a lot more, the poetry was up here as well. I had to, because just like you, I would start with a topic, and the topic would normally end up being the title. Like it'd just be one word.
Right.
A word would come at me, and I would make that word the title and write the poem around that title. And the same thing applies. Like it would just almost flow through me, to the point that other poets, when they kept asking me, why haven't you learned this piece, or how, I have some poetic friends of mine who are very, very good at learning their pieces, learning the pieces and delivering the pieces, right? Very, very good at it. And
that's a totally separate skill and writing.
it is.
They're not in the same boat.
It is. And they kept asking. So I mean, at that point, I would make an effort to learn them and stuff because I was performing as well. So I would be performing the pieces, and I know from experience that knowing the poem up here makes it a lot easier to deliver, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But I can tell you, I learned how to deliver with a Kindle in my hand here, because like you, I have over 10 years of erotic poetry. And I've been writing from the time, and that was before as I focused mostly on erotic poetry personally. But even before then, just a word would come, a poem would come. I have all of my poems are pretty much here on my phone. You know what I mean? And I use Dropbox, and I put my poems on my phone because I lost so much of them. The early poems were lost before the advent of the internet. Our very, very early internet. I was writing from before the internet was born, and so when I lost those pieces, those very, very early pieces, I had to find a way to keep them. So me putting them on the internet wasn't to get notoriety as much as it was a way to save them.
I have about 3 more minutes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's fine. All right. So, thank you so much for coming on your show, for sure. And
yes, it was a pleasure. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Right, we definitely need to do this
We
again.
have a lot of similarities in our backstory and how we came about to this poetry thing.
Indeed. So we do have to do this again, because you have to go now. I can't get into the plasma poet, but we need to do that again so that I can hear more.
This could never be the first and last. This is the first of couple.
All right. So, well, thank you so much again. We've been talking to Richard Foster about his book 22 Virtues for You to Forward. Richard
Problem,
Ford.
Mr. Gibson.
You know it right there in front of me, and I still may say, yes, sir.
Yeah,
But yes, Richard Ford, we're talking to him about his book, 22 Virtues for You to Pursue. My name is Robert Gibson, the owner of Passionate Words Editing Services. This has been FYI. You can definitely find him on Facebook
Amazon.
and on Amazon. Make sure
Yeah, you
you
can
check
order
it
the
out.
book on Amazon.
The book is on Amazon, both as an ebook and as a paperback, I believe. So you can definitely check it out. So we are out. See you next week.
All right.